Hello, everybody. I'm Stacy. Thanks for stopping by. I have so much to share with you today, so I want to get started right in it. I have a challenge for you. It's a 21-day invitation. I was inspired to share this with you because I'm going to do it myself. It's something that I've decided that I need to change my routine. My routine has gotten stagnant and flat and habitual and unproductive. In the morning, I find that I'm much more productive as the day goes on, but my mornings have really become time suckers. Like all of a sudden, 2 hours will go by and I've done nothing. So, nothing that I want to do, I should say, nothing that I'm producing. I'm producing nothing for those 2 hours. So I'm changing it up. I'm changing up my morning and I'm reinstating a practice that I was doing for a really long time and I got out of the habit of, and I am now back in it, which is to have a journal by my bedside. And as soon as I wake up in the morning, I write down the messages that I get because that time of day is golden for information from your spirit guides, from your it's all from your subconscious. You're really connected to your subconscious intuitive messages and inner self. Right when you wake up in the morning while you're still a little sleepy, you're so in tune in those brain waves to hear that voice giving you gold of information. So I offer this invitation to you to join me on the next 21 days. I am going to write down the messages I get and I'm going to share them with you. And I'm starting today. So I have some rich information to share with you. So I did. I had my journal. This is my journal right here. It's very pretty. Had my journal ready. And honestly, it was just 2 words. That was it. 2 words. And they were subconscious exploration. How fun is that? And that's exactly what we're doing, right? We are exploring the subconscious and deepening the connection to that part of yourself that is really wanting a connection with you. So what I'm going to do is, with all the messages I get, I'm going to elaborate and I'm going to write about it and I'm going to share it with you. So my first question to you is, do you have a connection practice? Do you have something that you do every day to connect to your center, to get that information from your inner self to help guide you through the day? I do. I've been on and off with different practices over the years. I have been a student of spirituality for 20 years now, and it's a precious part of who I am and a precious part of my life. And over the course of the last like 3-ish years, I don't know when exactly this book came out, but Tara by Rachel Wooten. This book is so wonderful, especially if you feel a connection to the Divine Mother and the Divine Feminine and the feminine energy of divinity, right? And I've shared this before. I was raised Catholic, and that was fine and fine. But there really wasn't any nurturing of the feminine face of God, except Mother Mary, who everyone loves. Love Mother Mary. But other than Mary, there really was not and is not, that I'm aware of, because I haven't been a practicing Catholic for literally these last 20 years. The divine feminine, the divine mother. And I was so taken aback by the story of the Divine Sophia and the Divine Feminine and all of the research that I did for my trilogy, which was years back. And it has stayed with me in my heart my connection to God, to the Divine Mother. And so Tara is just a part of that. She is the female face of Buddha, right? I'm not really connected to Buddha as a spiritual guide, but Tara is has opened my heart and life to so much. And in this book, which is an amazing book, I would recommend it highly if you are interested in Tara and Divine Tara. And there's 21 different faces of Tara. And when I got the book a few years ago, I went through each practice because there's a whole ceremony and mantra and a whole way of practicing and getting really connected. And so I went through all the 21, and that was wonderful. And I put the book aside, but I've reconnected with it. And I have to say, what I've done was, right, I think we are all feeling right now disconnection and sadness and hopelessness and loneliness and despair. And that could be on a good day because of all of the things that are going on in the world. And it's every time you open the news or open anything, doesn't even have to be in the news. They're posting news on Instagram feeds, right? It's a bit like there's no escaping the emotional turmoil of the world. And I opened my Instagram yesterday, and there was some horrible something on there, and I was just like, I'm done. It's like you can't process any more tragic information. It's like you get to a point where you just can't. And so I started back with my Tara practice, and I did a 21-day practice with Great White Soothing Tara, who helps with negative imprints and helps with releasing all of the stuck energy and the despair and the self-loathing and all of the negativity that is hurled at us. We hurl at ourselves. And so Great White Soothing Tara, I did a 21-day practice of just doing my mantras, doing my devotion, and then journaling about it, my thoughts and my shifts that I was having. And I have to tell you, over the 3 weeks, it really opened me up to my own acknowledgement of my own self-criticism. And I got to the end of the 21 days, and I realized that I'm done with self-criticism. There's no good use for it. It is not useful to criticize yourself. It isn't. There's no reason. So in doing this practice, I was able to let that go. So that was one part. And so now I'm doing a 21-day of Yellow All Victorious Tara, who is amazing and is able to connect with you on a divine level and untie the energy knots that we have in our system so that you can have more life force, you can have more energy, you can get more connected to love, which is what we all want. We all want to be more connected to love, right? So I'm sharing this with you because a connection practice to a divine source is so crucial right now, is so crucial. I was reading a couple of articles about the falling apart of organized religion and how, for so many, especially young people right now, there hasn't been a replacement to to the organized religion, and I'm not a fan. Like I said, I left 20 years ago, but if you don't replace it with something, it gets that hole gets filled with unnecessary things. And materialism is basically, I live in the US, and that's basically, religion has fallen apart, and there hasn't been a filling up of the soul into most of the people who left organized religion into their lives. There just hasn't. It's been, that hole has been filled with materialism. So it's important to fill yourself up with your divine self. And my tarot practice has been a way that I'm able to reconnect, really reconnect. So I invite you to think about, what is your connection practice? Do you have one? If you do, I would love to know what it is. And I am going to start today. Today is day one of the 21-day challenge of writing down what the messages you get first thing in the morning, and then elaborating on them, and going deeper into them. Right? I wrote down, the enlivening your life force. I mean, that's really what I want to work on right now, because there are these times, especially now, like where we feel depressed and we feel lethargic and we feel very gray. And there are ways that we can work with the body and the mind and connecting to the soul through creativity, through devotion practices, through connection with community, that enliven our life force, and make us feel like there is hope for the world. There is hope. That things can change for the better. Right? And we're part of that. We are part of that change for the better, right? And one of the things in here that it's talking about is, like, when you have a devotional practice, you realize that you are never alone, right? There's so much loneliness in the world right now, so much loneliness for so many reasons. And when you have a practice that connects you to your soul, which is your lifeline and your call line to the divine realm, you realize that you are never alone, and it changes your perspective so profoundly. And so that's just, I really want to reiterate that it is priceless and life altering to have a practice that connects you to your soul. And one of the ways that I do that is through creativity, through writing, through creating stories, I created the card deck, which I did also want to share, because one of the things that came up for me in the subconscious exploration was, where's my deck? Here it is, creation codes. Okay, deck was card number 33, inspired action. Here we are, inspired action, because I think I've brought this card up before anyway, but inspired action, which is, what's your cork? What idea keeps rising to the surface of your awareness, right? A life can reflect unconscious behavior or conscious choice. It is up to you how you want to live. And the thing you keep pushing down, but you should be doing, that's your cork. It keeps popping to the top, right? And it'll keep coming to the surface of your consciousness until you take action. And so this 21-day challenge is something that I have wanted to do for a while. And so here I am, and I'm stepping up, and I am taking inspired action. I am listening to the message that I get in the morning, and I am taking action on it. And so that is my commitment, right? It takes a commitment. It takes, especially, for 3 weeks, it's a commitment, and Thanksgiving is next week. And so, we've got lots going on. It's the holiday season. And so it takes a commitment of time, but then you can also think about, like, well, where is your time going anyway, right? And so you can take a few minutes of your day to connect to connect to your soul, right? So, um, right, yes. And so the other thing I wanted to do, the subconscious exploration, those are my words. The other thing that came into my head was it reminded me of the first page of my third book, Sky of Water. This was, and I started rereading this and I was like, oh my God, this book is so good. Right? So it's good that I could appreciate my own work. Third book, I will say, is really great. Second book is really great. My first book was really great. There was a couple of things in there that I would love to change. Um, that's for another video. But yeah, but they're all worthy. They're all worthy. And I'm right now, and I'm saying, you heard it here first, I'm in the process of marketing it to be made into visual media. So whether that be a limited series, we'll see, but it deserves more attention than it had gotten in the past. But so the thing about subconscious exploration made me think of the ocean, made me think of water, right? And this line from the first page of this book where it says, Viviane DeClaire looked out at the stunted shore beneath her and saw the painful memories returning. Ghostly, black, crab-like creatures crawled out of the sea at a snail's pace. Their slow speed made their return that much worse, prolonging the inevitable. They had been waiting, as all painful memories do, in the churning, deep, dark water of the ocean. They were messengers from the primordial deep, and Viviane was now faced with a choice she thought only applied to humans: act or react. She already knew she had waited too long to act. Oh my God. That's good writing right there. Anyway, it made me think of that scene in that book because that's where we are right now, right? The pain of history is too big to ignore anymore. The world is a effing mess, and it's only going to continue to break down until we as individuals take responsibility for our own shit. And that's what this is saying, is that the pain is deep, and there's so much healing to do. And that's why this Tara practice was so profoundly shift worthy for me, because it got me in touch with the pain that is still in me for so many reasons. So I just invite you to pay attention to the puzzle pieces of your life and see how they fit together, and what messages are revealed when you initiate connection to the unseen parts of yourself, to the divine parts of yourself, right? And the inspired action card, right? Inspired action, listening to those messages, and then walking toward your dreams, because that is what's in your subconscious. It's what you need to heal, and it's what you need to for fulfillment. What are your dreams? What are your dreams? I haven't heard a lot of people talking about dreams, like not in like sleep dreams, but life dreams and fulfillment and joy and connecting to the beauty of life as opposed to the misery of life. It's all connected. It is all connected, and we need to acknowledge both. We can't get stuck in the misery. We need a way to process it, and it is through our body, and it is through our divine practice. So often we would go to church to release our sadness and our despair and our not knowing what we're supposed to be doing, right? Our questions, we would bring that to God through church, and that isn't happening anymore. And so where are we bringing that? Where are we bringing the heavy stuff? Where is it going? So I'd love to know from you, like, do you have a process to release that? Do you go out in nature? Do you go in the woods and release, and have a ceremony, or talk to God, or, um, I'm feeling like we've lost processes to release and to receive. I was in yoga today and it was really grueling because I go to hot yoga. And at the very end, the teacher, I was in Shavasana and it was over, and the teacher, she kind of touched my feet and pressed in these certain points that felt so lovely. And it was like reflexology, and it felt like a release. And I thought, oh, that was so amazing. And it was literally like 10 seconds, but I still felt like I was cared for in those 10 seconds by someone else, and I received it so fully, and I appreciated it so much. And so it doesn't have to take a lot of time to acknowledge or receive something when we really need it. So I offer you my support, my encouragement. This is a really hard time on the planet right now. And so I invite you to join me in the 21-day challenge to get connected, to explore your subconscious, right? Subconscious exploration, right? Maybe that's what we'll name this 21-day subconscious exploration. And we'll see what happens. We'll see, like I said, what puzzle pieces we fit together and what our lives look like at the end of these 21 days. So I thank you for being here with me for 22 minutes, and I won't ramble on anymore. But if you would like to join me for the 21 days, just leave a comment below. I would love to connect with you. And I will see you tomorrow on day 2. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Take care.